If you want to start good quality conversations online, you're going to have to reach out to people you don't know, and you're going to need to be able to start a conversation. Most people fail at this. Most people are sending really spammy messages, and that's why you're getting a really poor response rate. I'm Mark McGuinness. I'm a digital selling expert, and I'm going to show you what I use to be able to get 75% success rates on reach outs. We don't have to wait for, the CEO or the CFO to change. We don't need to wait for the marketing manager to change roles. We don't need to wait for the business to start an enormous capital raising. And whilst all those things provide fantastic trigger events, what we need is something that's more everyday, that's really easier to generate, so that we can start those reach outs and we can start a good conversation. And today I'm going to show you how you can use Who's Viewed My Profile to have a great conversation that's going to actually start having sales conversations and monetize your time online. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to talk to you about how do you actually start a conversation online with people that you don't know. And I'm not talking about a random conversation. I'm talking about a conversation that's going to lead into your goods and services that you provide. I mean, the whole idea of digital selling or social selling is that you're actually selling a goods or a service. Many people are starting these conversations online, and I love this saying, we don't need more friends, right? So I've got plenty of friends. I want people that are going to help my business. So the overarching content here, or the overarching strategy here, is you treat social interactions just like you would treat a telephone call or an inbound call. So, years and years ago, I had a business and I had two people answering the telephones non-stop. And hard to believe, I know, but at the time I thought that was a huge waste of labour money, all these inbound calls. And of course, nowadays, we don't get that many inbound calls, because people can find the information that they want generally through the internet, Google, whatever the case may be. So we don't have as many people ringing up asking for help. So what I do is I tell my students to treat any social interaction with your content or your profile as a inbound telephone call, somebody that's after a little bit more information. So what I do typically to be able to help start that using Who's Viewed My Profile is, if you look at Who's Viewed My Profile, you'll find that there's a bunch of people in there who have been viewing your profile, and they've looked at your profile for any number of reasons. And it could be because they've liked your content. It could be that maybe somebody's referred them to you. Maybe, you've come up as somebody they should connect with. All these ideas are great conversation starters. So what I tell people to do is send out a connection request to that perfect target audience. So you can't be connecting with everybody. You just want to connect with the people who are your perfect target, or that you're going to get some value from. I've covered that in a previous conversation, but send them a very simple connection request that says something like, hey, Tom, I see we've crossed paths here on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to have more Sydney sellers who are leading sales teams in my network. I promise to share a bunch of good quality content as time goes by that you might find valuable for your team. What do you say? Let's connect. Now you'll see there that I've phrased that connection request around, you're going to get some value from me if you connect with me. I'm not saying, I'd love you to join my network so that, I've got more high quality sellers. I'm saying, look, you're in Sydney, so am I. You're focused on sales. You're probably leading a sales team. They're the kind of people I want in my network, and I'm going to share some content with you as a result. You're going to get some value out of that connection. So what I find is I get really high levels of acceptance rates because I'm framing that conversation around what's in it for them instead of what's in it for me. I think that's where most people go wrong. And then once they've connected in a very short period of time, usually a few days, I usually send them something that's related to their industry or their role. And I might say, hey, Tom, thanks for accepting my connection request. Looks like you're leading a team there at ABC Sellers. Can I just share this piece of content with you that, and it might be content that I've written, or it might be content that I've found. Here's a piece of content that I found that talks about how to run great sales meetings. And my guess is this might be helpful for you. I hope you find it valuable. I've had lots of other people that I've sent this to, and they've said it's been really cool or really helpful. Best, Mark. Now you'll notice that I'm not asking for a meeting. I'm not saying, get back to me. There's no call to action. I'm just going, hey, double piece of reciprocity. Let's connect. That connection request that I sent is consistency. I know that they've looked at my profile. They know they've looked at my profile. So I'm saying, look, we've looked at each other's profile. We've crossed paths. Let's connect. I've led with, if you connect with me, then I'm probably going to share some great content. A few days later, I've then come back and gone, hey, because you're in this space, here's some content. So it looks like it's very personalized. And in fact, it is personalized because you need to make these each personalized for each one of these individuals. Now, if you just stop here for a minute and think about when was the last time someone connected with you, led with a bit of value, promised some value, and then followed up and didn't pitch? Because what happens, most marketing people that teach LinkedIn or that teach social selling, and then most people that are teaching social selling are marketers, and this is why they get it wrong, is they say at that point, ask them, say, hey, here's some stuff around leading great sales meetings. Can I get 10 minutes in your diary? I'm saying, no, like, let's not do that. Let's stand out from the pack. Let's send some good quality reciprocity and then circle back in a week or 2 weeks' time and say, hey, Tom, how did you go with that content? Now, chances are they won't have read it because no one reads white papers. Maybe they'll look at an infographic. But you know what? The whole idea is not for them to have read the content or looked at the infographic. The whole idea is to start a conversation. And then you say, so what are you doing around sales meetings if that's your angle? Or what are you doing around digital selling if that's my angle? And then, you know, hopefully they'll say, well, you know what, we're just starting, you know, we're not really sure. And then you can go, well, great, here's another piece of content. So you share bits and pieces backwards and forwards, and then before you know it, you're starting an authentic conversation. Time and time again, I see people stuffing this up because what they're doing is they're getting automation, or the worst still, they're getting people to run their LinkedIn profiles for them, and they're sending 300 messages that are not personalized, are clearly automated, and I'll share some of those examples. And what happens is, you know what, you get those messages and you think, this is automated, this is not for me, this is not authentic. You know, so instead of sending 300 messages, let's send 30 messages and let's get 25 good quality conversations because, you know, my clients and me, this is what I'm getting 75% response rates. If you'd like a little bit more detail, hit me up for a conversation. I'd be happy to share a bit more. Let's have a conversation about how your prospecting's going, what sort of messaging strategy you're using, and how to be more effective instead of spamming your prospects, how to reach out with some good quality content to start a conversation so they love you and you love them and they don't hate you for spamming them. I'm Mark. Be happy to have a conversation. Keep selling. Keep having a great time out there. Bye.